What would you do if cops started pounding on your door at 2 a.m.? If you open too fast, you can hand them control in seconds. One wrong sentence at your own doorway can turn a simple knock into a search, an arrest, or both. Hit subscribe right now because what I'm about to show you could keep you from talking yourself into jail, like this video too, so you can find it fast on the worst night of your life. Here's what you need to know before your hand even touches that doorknob. You're about to learn the first question you ask through the door, the one sentence that blocks consent, the exact words that stop you from talking too much, and what you do if they really have a warrant. Here's the reality. Your front door is not just wood and metal, it's a legal line. Once you open it, you can give police more than you think. You can give them a view inside, you can give them a smell, you can give them your body language, you can give them nervous words they write down later. Most people have no idea how fast that happens. I've analyzed over 200 body cam videos and the same mistake shows up again and again. People open first and think later. That is backwards. Tonight, you're going to flip that. You're going to think first, speak smart, and protect your home before the door ever moves. Now, let's talk about why this moment is so dangerous for you. And when cops knock, most people think they have only two choices: open the door or look guilty. That is a trap. You do not lose your rights just because somebody in a uniform knocks loudly and sounds serious. A lot of people panic because they think refusing to open means they're breaking the law. In many normal situations, that is just not true. The danger is not the knock. The danger is what you do next. You crack the door, you step onto the porch, you start explaining, you try to sound innocent, and without meaning to, you start helping build a case against yourself. Here's the reality. Your home gives you your strongest protection, but only if you use it. If you open the door too early, you can weaken that protection before you even understand why they're there. That is why the first move matters more than anything else you do. The first thing you do is keep the door closed and make them say why they're there. Do not swing it open to be polite. Do not step outside to clear things up. Let me show you exactly what you say. Officer, do you have a warrant signed by a judge? Please hold it up to the window. Word for word. Memorize that line. If you have a peephole, use it. If you have a camera, look at it. If you have a locked screen door and feel safe, you still do not unlock the main door until you know what is happening. The reason this works is simple. The law treats your doorway like a serious line. In Payton v. New York, the Supreme Court said police cannot cross into your home for a routine arrest without a warrant unless there's an emergency. In plain English, your home gets special protection. The court even said there's a firm line at the entrance to the house. That matters for you. Florida v. Jardines pushed that idea even more. The court said your front porch is part of the protected area around your home. Police can walk up and knock like anybody else, but they do not get unlimited power just because they reached your door. So your first goal is not to win an argument. Your first goal is to slow the moment down and make them show legal authority before you give them anything. Defense attorneys use this exact line in court because it forces the encounter onto clean ground. Either they have a warrant or they do not. If they do not, you just learned something important before opening the door. If they do, you want to see it before you move. Watch what happens when you ask this calmly. The whole mood changes. Now the officer has to answer your question instead of you answering theirs. Bad way. Most drivers say, sure, hold on, and yank the door open. Then the officer sees inside, smells something, or notices another person, and your quiet home turns into an investigation. Good way. Smart drivers say, Officer, do you have a warrant signed by a judge? Please hold it up to the window. Then you keep the barrier in place and force the legal issue first. This is 100% legal in normal non-emergency situations. You are not resisting. You are not hiding. You are making them respect the line the Constitution already gave you. And if they start getting pushy, that does not change the rule. Calm beats panic every single time. Former police officers have confirmed this works because a calm person behind a closed door is much harder to manipulate than a scared person standing in the doorway. Have you ever felt pressure to open the door just to seem respectful? Tell me in the comments, because that pressure is exactly how people give up rights they never meant to lose. Once you know they do not have a warrant, your next move is to refuse consent clearly and fast. This is where people really mess up. They do not say yes, but they also do not say no. They say things like, I don't know, or I guess if you need to, or I have nothing to hide. That is a disaster for you. Here's exactly what you say. I do not consent to any entry or search. Word for word. Short, clean, strong. Say it like you've said it before. Because once you say it, the record changes. Now, if they come in anyway, your refusal is clear. If they later claim you invited them in, your words help protect you. Legal experts agree this is your strongest protection because consent is one of the easiest ways police get around a warrant. This comes straight from Supreme Court rulings. In Schneckloth v. Bustamante, the court said consent searches can be valid when consent is voluntary. Plain English? If you give permission, even casually, you can lose your argument later. That is why you never say, "Go ahead." That is why you never step back and wave them in. That is why you never say, "I've got nothing to hide." Those are gift-wrapped words for the police report. And if you live with somebody else, Georgia v. Randolph matters too. The Supreme Court said when one person at the home says no while standing there, police cannot just act like that no means nothing. In plain English, your refusal matters. Here's the trick they don't want you knowing. You can refuse consent even if you are being perfectly polite. You do not have to shout. You do not have to act angry. You just have to be clear. Let me show you exactly how calm this can sound. "Officer, I respect your job, but I do not consent to any entry or search." That line is gold because it removes the drama while keeping your rights. Watch what happens when you do this. The officer often tries a softer angle. "We just want to talk. We just need a quick look. If you've got nothing to hide, this will be easy." That is the pressure moment. Stay steady. Repeat the line. "I do not consent to any entry or search." Bad way. Most drivers say, "Sure, if it helps," or "Go ahead, I didn't do anything." Then the search starts, and now your own permission is being used against you. Good way. Smart drivers say, "I do not consent to any entry or search." Then you keep your rights alive and make the government carry its own burden. This is 100% legal. You're not required to make their job easier by giving up your home. And remember, police are trained to make requests sound casual. Casual words from you can still have serious consequences. So stop trying to sound innocent. Start sounding clear. Your third move is the one that saves you from yourself. Stop explaining. Stop filling silence. Stop trying to talk your way out. Listen closely because this is critical. If police start asking questions through the door or after you open, because you made that mistake, silence by itself is not enough. You need to say the words. Here's exactly what you say. "I choose to remain silent. I want a lawyer." Those exact 9 words are your shield. Use them, then shut up. A lot of people think staying quiet is enough. It is not always enough. In Salinas v. Texas, the Supreme Court said that in a voluntary police interview, just sitting there quietly is not the same as clearly claiming your right. In plain English, if you want protection, say so out loud. Berghuis v. Tompkins said something similar in a different setting. The court said you must invoke your right clearly, not halfway, not with a shrug, not by looking at the floor. So if police are talking to you at your door and you do not want to answer, do not just mumble or freeze. Say the line, "I choose to remain silent. I want a lawyer." Why does this work for you? Because talking feels safe in the moment, but it is dangerous later. You think you're helping yourself. You say you were asleep. Then you later say you were in the shower. You say your friend left an hour ago. Your camera shows 30 minutes. Small details become inconsistencies. Innocent people do this all the time. Fear makes your memory sloppy. Police reports make your sloppy words look intentional. Defense attorneys use this exact line in court because it stops the damage before it spreads. Bad way. Most drivers say, "What's this about?" "I didn't do anything," or "You've got the wrong guy." Then more questions follow. You keep talking, and the officer gets a whole statement for free. Good way. Smart drivers say, "I choose to remain silent. I want a lawyer." Then the fishing trip gets a lot harder, and your own mouth stops helping the case against you. You do not need a perfect speech. You need a repeatable one. If they push, repeat it. If they act annoyed, repeat it. If they say, "We can clear this up right now," repeat it. Legal experts agree this is your strongest protection when pressure rises because the less you say, the less they can twist. And yes, you can be respectful while doing it. Calm voice, clear words, no debate. Most people already clicked away. If you're still here, you're in the top 10%. Drop a comment saying, "I'm still here," because this next move is what protects you if they actually do have paper in their hand. Now let's handle the part people get wrong even after they learn the first 3 moves. What if they really do have a warrant? Do not play hero. Do not block the door with your body. Do not grab the paper. Do not argue on the porch like you're in a movie. You still protect yourself, but you do it the smart way. You look at the officer and say this, "I will not resist, but I do not consent to this search, and I want my lawyer." Word for word. Memorize that line too. If you can safely see the warrant, check the name and address, make sure it is your place and not a bad address, then step aside if the warrant is valid. But keep talking to a minimum. Why does this help you? Because you are separating physical compliance from legal consent. That matters. In Bumper v. North Carolina, the Supreme Court said something critical. The court said police cannot claim they have a warrant and then pretend you're okay made the search legal if that claim was false. Plain English. A fake warrant claim does not magically create real consent. That is why you never volunteer permission, even when they sound confident. If they have a real warrant, they do not need your consent. If they do not have one, your consent can become their shortcut. Bad way. Most drivers say, okay, come in, I'll show you everything. Then you help the search, point things out, and make a bad situation worse. Good way. Smart drivers say, I will not resist, but I do not consent to this search, and I want my lawyer. Then you comply physically without handing them extra legal cover. And one more thing for you. Do not lie. Do not hide people while they stand there. Do not destroy anything. Those choices create brand new problems. Your power is in staying calm, using the script, and making them follow the rules instead of you helping them break around those rules. Let's pull the law together so you really own this. Peyton v. New York says police cannot cross into your home without a warrant for a routine arrest. Florida versus Jardine says your porch is part of the protected area around your home and police do not get a free pass. Schneckloth versus Bustamante says consent can make a search legal, which is exactly why your clear refusal matters so much. Georgia v. Randolph says a present resident's refusal to search a home matters too. Salinas versus Texas and Burghoose versus Tompkins teach the same hard lesson for you in plain English. If you want your silence protected, say it clearly. And Bumper v. North Carolina reminds you that police cannot turn a fake claim of authority into real consent. This comes straight from Supreme Court rulings. Your state may have extra rules, and real emergencies can change things fast. But these core cases tell you the basic map. Ask for the warrant. Refuse consent. Invoke silence. If there is a real warrant, do not resist. Now let me show you exactly how this plays out in real life for you. It's late, you're home. Loud knocking starts. A voice says, "Police, open the door." Wrong way first. You panic. You crack the door wide open, you step into the frame, you say, "What's going on, officers? Is this about my cousin? He was just here." Now you've opened the door, placed yourself in reach, and connected yourself to another person before you even know what they want. The officer looks past you and asks if anyone else is inside. You answer because silence feels awkward. Then they ask if they can come in and talk. You say, "Sure, I guess." Your whole night just got worse. Now the right way for you? The knock comes, you keep the door closed, you look through the peephole or camera. You say, "Officer, do you have a warrant signed by a judge? Please hold it up to the window." They say no, they just want to ask a few questions. You answer, "I do not consent to any entry or search." They push again. If you've got nothing to hide, open the door. You do not take that bait. You say, "I choose to remain silent, I want a lawyer." If they keep talking, you repeat it. If they leave, great. If they come back with a real warrant, you say, "I will not resist, but I do not consent to this search, and I want my lawyer." Same house, same police. Totally different outcome for you. In the first version, you helped create the case. In the second version, you made them do their job the hard way. Next week, I'm revealing what to say when police claim they just need a quick look. Subscribe right now so you don't miss it, because that line traps people every single day. So burn these 4 moves into your memory right now. First, keep the door closed and ask if they have a warrant. Second, if they do not, say you do not consent to any entry or search. Third, stop explaining and say you choose to remain silent. Fourth, if they really do have a warrant, do not resist, but do not give consent or help the search. That is your power. Not yelling, not running, not arguing. Calm words, strong boundaries, smart timing. When your heart is racing, your script keeps you safe. Hit subscribe so you catch the next video before you need it in real life. Smash that like button if this just gave you a plan you can actually use. And drop a comment telling me which line you're going to memorize first. Stay safe out there.